everybody. How's everybody doing today? I mean, is it are the, have the hell? Tom's got his 2-year-old. So this is your grandson, or is this your son?
Grandson.
Nice. It's nice to have family in town once in a while. So tonight we're going to be looking at some skiers, and we're going to be doing the same kind of thing we did last night. Who else is here? Mike, you here today? I haven't heard. Up there he is.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
just being quiet and hiding in background.
Hiding in the
Just
background.
because I don't say anything doesn't mean I'm not participating.
Yeah, I don't know if Dion's going to make it tonight, so she might pop in later. Um, but that's all right. So we have a participant video who will remain anonymous, and he's going for his level 3. Already passed the MA portion of it, and I don't remember if he passed the teach. It seems like he has, but he definitely needs to work on his skiing in order to pass, because there's a very, very high bar here in the state of Colorado. Not only do you have to be pretty good, you also have to have the right day too, in order to pass. It's very difficult. So, but I thought I'd go ahead and share him tonight as a kind of a warm up, and maybe we can go through this and figure out what he needs to do. So I'm gonna assume, because it says SRTs, that it's a short radius turn. And the other thing we're going to be working on tonight is going to be working on dirt again. This time I'm not going to be quite so, last week was really about speaking to dirt and dirt only. Today I want to apply dirt into the skiing portion. So the skis are tipping progressively, more faster, quickly, all those descriptor words that we use, sequentially, simultaneously, blah blah blah, all those words. And like I said, what I put into the chat, sorry, not in the chat, but the in the email will be useful for that. Duration, long, short, throughout. Intensity, a lot, a little, low, high, heavy, light, softly, most, less. Rate, quickly, slowly, abruptly, progressively. Even though a lot of people hate that word progressively, I still include it. Rapidly, same, different, frequently. And then timing, beginning, middle, end, during, before, after, same time, different times. There's that simultaneously and sequentially, and late, early, frequently, and during, and turn phase. So watching this skier, what are some things that maybe stand out? What are some good things?
He's tipping his skis on edge early and together before the fall line. He's got continuous, constant speed down the mountain, making fairly similar turns.
Cool. Anybody
Your
else?
upper body is facing down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the
Understanding,
intensity was good, was balanced, was good, not too much, not too little. Well, a little bit much at the intensity was at the I'll call it a push the turn wasn't round enough, and I think that was caused by too much intensity, which I guess talks to the timing. The timing is a little off in that, causing the duration to be too much in one's place. and not progressive, if you will.
Okay. If we use progressive, we need to find another word for progressive. Obviously, it's got 3 syllables.
Yeah.
You know,
You know how I am about syllables.
yeah, I'm
Syllables.
not going to disagree with what you said, Rob.
Hmm.
However, from an assessor point of view, the question out there was, what are the good things we're observing?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So from an assessor point of view, you did not do the task.
Fair. I
Well, you
appreciate
started
that.
out with something that was good. I mean,
So, yeah, we weren't going there at this time yet. So,
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, that
something
remember,
to consider.
remember, it's very, very easy for us to instantly go straight to error detection and correction, right? The
yeah.
old school method. We want to be objective right now. This guy really sucks, man, because all this stuff is going now. We want to be objective about what we see and
Yeah, he
Yeah,
only
no.
makes the
speak the
blue
truth.
coat and black pants look good, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is where I disagree with Mike. The only thing that distinguishes him from the rest of the people on the hill is the name tag and all the pins. That's it, right?
Well, I didn't say the name tag looked good. I said the blue coat and black pants.
You know, I appreciate that exactly what and agree 100% with what you said, Mike. And it's interesting because at first glance, when I looked at him, when I started my comments, I loved the intensity. And then as I was watching him ski and as I was speaking, I felt there was too much of a push on each side. And so I guess I was correcting my observation of the intensity, if that makes sense. And without being defensive.
No,
Again,
I
without
mean, yeah, I mean, Mike made a valid point. We're looking at the good stuff. I'm not
yeah,
disagreeing with what you said, and I think that Mike said the same thing too.
yeah,
Because
yeah, no,
I think
thank you.
we're all seeing a lot of the same things.
So another good thing I like is I think his fore-aft balance is good. I'm
Hmm.
seeing snow fly to the side, not just back down the hill. So that's a nice, I think he's very stable there. And his feet and legs are turning more than his upper body. That's a
Okay,
good thing
when
too.
when is this fore aft good? All the time, some of the time,
I think it's
phases.
good all the time. And you can
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
You know, I like the fact that he maintains speed from top to bottom of the hill.
Right.
And overall, within a given turn, the speed is fairly consistent.
Yeah. I like the fact that his laterally that the shafts of his legs are fairly. He makes an effort to that they remain proportional throughout or parallel throughout most of the turn. I think that's an important piece. I like that the upper body is trying to be stable as possible. Notice where I'm going. Right?
I liked that I'm drawn to his leg movement. I'm
Cool.
drawn to his legs, which forecasts to me that his upper body is nice and stable.
Yeah.
Seems relatively stable.
Yeah, all the action's happening kind of below the waist, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Anybody else got any comments?
His pole touch is pretty good. It's a touch, it's not a plant.
All right. What are some things that we think are missing? And let's look at the overall picture first. We have these crazy things called the common threads now. which might be able to steer us in some directions.
I think there's not an more inclination than angulation in many of the turns.
Cool. So where do you think that's happening from?
Like right there,
Okay.
right there.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah. Can you give me some timing, some phases, some where, when, how much, not
That
enough?
pesky dirt thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's happening at the beginning and throughout the shaping phase of the turn.
Shoot through the shaping phase.
Yeah,
Okay. So I mean, we need to incline at the top, right?
Right.
but it's continuing until almost to the apex, and then there's a little bit of angulation.
So what do you think is what do you think is a biomechanical cause there, the inclination part? And how does that affect the skis?
I have to give that a lot of thought.
I think he needs to tip his knees and ankles more and sooner. And I also think there's a little bit of flex and extension that we need to get his weight more towards his outside ski. I think his he doesn't have enough separation in his legs for flex and extension.
Okay, so I'm gonna beat you up a little bit about that. Hold on. Oh, we had some comments here. Trying to get my audio to
Scott,
work.
what level are you going for?
3.
Main
3?
phase counter throughout transition.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna echo something that Chuck is thinking. Your descriptor is pretty vague.
Yeah, I mean, let's button
Let's
it
be
down a little bit.
specific for 3.
So tell me some cause and effect relationship for just that piece. You know, the body's
So
doing this, so the skis do this.
right. So at the initiation, he's mostly inclined. He gets his skis on edge together,
Mm-hmm.
but he's I don't see any angulation enough angulation at the hips, okay, which puts him inside on his inside ski. And also the knees and ankles need to be tipped more to the inside, and his hips basically and his spine need to tip more to the outside just to create more angles. And that happens, it starts at the beginning and it continues all the way through the end of shaping.
Okay, so we have an inclination issue, right? Right? You're
Yeah.
talking about, so, and I'm going to guess that you're talking about ski to ski and edging, right?
Yes.
And how they relate to each other.
Yes.
So let's speak to that.
So because he has a little bit of banking tendency with the inclination,
Mm-hmm.
that affects his ski to ski pressure. It puts him more on his inside ski, so he's not able to align as best ideally with the outside ski. And it starts, he has some angulation at the hips and a slight angulation at the knee. There's just not enough of it.
I'm gonna forget that term because there was like a pressure issue on the last turn that kind of affected him. But this is pretty prototypical of his turn, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So there is, and I'm gonna go back to this little piece. I'm trying to introduce grip back to the nomenclature. When do the skis grip? and change the center of mass direction.
Just below
Well,
the.
it starts before the fall line.
It does start before the fall line, yeah.
Right. So it's at initiation. So yeah, it starts and it's progressive. I know you don't like that term, but there's an increased
Well,
edge angle throughout the turn till just after the apex,
and
which is a
I
good
will
thing.
agree with you. I think he is, for the most part, he is achieving grip just before the fall line.
Yeah.
Okay. But it doesn't really change his direction for a while. The center of mass.
I would say that, like you just said, Chuck, he doesn't get the grip at the top. He gets the grip in the middle of the turn, and I believe that there's not enough rotation in the femurs. There's not enough quite enough rotary to round out that turn, which might slow down the duration of the turn, as opposed to getting that push in the middle of it and getting that grip,
Cool.
causing a little bit of a, I wouldn't even call it a pivot, but I can't think of a word.
Well,
Just
there is
getting-
a pivot, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing a pivot.
Yeah. Well, call it a
And
pivot.
you know, this is very true of almost all of our candidates, this guy included, right? When you go to L3, one of the first things they say is, well, you're pivoting at the top of the turn. Well, what the hell does that mean? Right?
So if you look at that turn that you just kind of went through the top of it, I see him get on edge at the beginning of the turn, and I see some snow start to move early before he hits the fall line.
yeah,
So
like
to me,
that turn right there. Yeah.
he's starting to get some grip early. And it's not a lot, but it's not going to be a lot at the top of the turn.
Yeah. And I'm just using grip as kind of like helping us identify.
Right.
Could we go to maybe uneven pressure management? A lot of a little pressure at the top and then a pressure in the middle. It's kind of fluctuating pressure management.
Yeah, but he's got 4 input controls that helps him with that regulating the pressure piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which of those would you pick in order to, I mean, he only has some that he can control. Which ones would he pick in order to change the performance? Does that make sense?
Which one's what? You lost me with that.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we have fore aft, ski to ski,
Oh, okay. So which skill?
edging, yes. Or if you just want to go to the 3 skills, we got rotary, edging, and pressure, right? So which of those 3 or 4 are we, or which pair, or whatever for you, Scott, which pair would you use to change? What change would you do that would help him achieve your desired result?
Well, I think, I was looking at edging and ski to ski.
Yeah.
So that's what I would work on.
Let's stick with those, but you're going to have to give me now the accurate. What is the change going to be? What's the prescription for change?
Okay, so the prescription for change is going to be at initiation. I'd like to see, this is not easy. I'd like to see him tip his knees and ankles earlier and faster.
How?
How do
Yeah.
we tip our knees? With our muscles.
Well, no. I mean, how is he, if he is here, let's go back to that spot, right?
Yeah.
If he is here, how is he going to be able to tip his legs and knees?
Okay, so he's going to rotate his femurs and his hip sockets.
He's got to well, sure, he's going to have to do that, but
right, and because
is
he's
he in
flexed,
let me ask you this. Let's ask you this a different way. Is he in a biomechanically advantageous position to do that?
I think he could be he could be more flexed. He could be more proportionally flexed in his hips, in his ankles, maybe even a little more in his knees.
I mean, he's nicely flexed here, right?
Right.
And then he gets to this spot here, and all of a sudden, what happened?
Yeah, he's a little too open.
He loses his advantage. Where he had it, a ski length and a half ago, that's a great position to be in. You could do shit there.
Yeah,
When he gets to this spot right here,
yeah.
Skis are a little ahead of him.
he's extended, and now his ability to do all those things that you want to do is gone.
I
So we could talk about, hey, I really want you to be more, I want you to be able to use your ankles and knees more at the beginning of the turn. Well, great.
That
So he needs
Now
to
we're in
be
the
more
chicken and egg
flexed in
thing.
his hips and his ankles and probably his knees too.
And you know this guy because he's like 6'4", right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So he's got lots of levers. He's got
Yeah,
a lot of leverage he can have,
yeah,
but it doesn't help when he's almost the full 6'4" tall.
right.
Okay. So what happens as a result? He gets to this position here. He can't engage the snow. He's almost
And
fully
right there,
extended.
let me just jump in here. Right there, I'd like to see that inside leg shorter. His legs are too even in length.
Well, he's fully extended, right?
Well, he's pretty close to it, but yeah,
I mean, he was in great position here,
yeah,
and then I have a funny feeling I know what he was trying to do. I kind of have a picture into his intent, and I think it's not a bad intent. I think the timing is off.
I think he lost his where if you back him up where you said he was in great position,
Yeah,
right?
end of the other
There, right
yeah,
there. He's in great position. I think he didn't he lost his fore and aft. He went aft in that next 2 yards of the turn. And that's where he lost yeah, he ran out. He went up instead of with the ski and steering it.
yeah. Look how open. You're right. Look how open his ankles were there.
Yeah.
yeah. And that's part of that extension movement.
Yeah,
It's a legacy movement, right? It's one of those movements that sticks around. We all do it. It sucks.
And that's why he gets more of that push at that right. Keep going right. Keep going. And here.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the skis spin, right?
Yep.
And he's inclined, and there's not a whole lot of angulation that's happening
Yeah.
because he still hasn't figured out how to get compact enough to allow the legs to do this. The legs and the ankles. I mean, he could do it with his ankles, but when you're fully extended, it's really kind of hard to manage all that stuff. And then the grip. Here's where we change direction.
Yeah.
And it's the same here, right? There's the extension. And he's stuck.
He's all out of it.
Yeah, he's he can't do anything. So all he could do here is spin to an edge. And he can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I think what he was trying to do was to be compact at the end of the turn and to extend into the apex
Mhm.
and then allow it to come back. But the problem is that the extension comes too early. He's nice and compact here, and then the extension as he's trying to allow the skis to move away happens too early, and now he's lost his ability to do stuff.
And I would say the extension is more of an inclination up movement than it is a forward movement.
Well, he has nothing else, right?
Yeah.
He has no. He's almost 6'4" right there,
Yeah.
right? I mean, all he can really do here from this point is really just shorten the inside leg. But that won't. I don't think that'll be enough because you still have to have some mobility in your joints to allow you to do that tipping, those tipping pieces with the lower legs, and he can't do that from an extended position. So minor, so close. He's so close. If he could keep this position here,
For the other third of a turn.
but he loses it. Bingo. There's the
So it's,
extension.
hey Gumby, it's more than holding that position. If you back him up just a smidge,
Yeah.
he's really little. Now watch which way his outside shoulder goes as he starts to extend. His outside shoulder is coming into that new turn. You can see his upper body rotating.
It's
Instead of
rotating.
extending along the length of his ski, he's trying to extend down the hill. And his separation is coming above his pelvis.
Well,
His
yeah.
his
He has
twist
no
is coming in
choice.
his lower lumbar because he's dumping his hip.
He has no choice.
He has a choice right there.
Yeah. I mean,
Right
with
there,
the
he
current
doesn't have a
pattern,
choice.
with the current pattern he has, it's a difficult choice for him to do anything else. And I know. Thanks for coming anyway. Love to see you. Scott was really looking at ski to ski pressure with edging and affecting edging. So we were kind of sticking to that point. There are some rotational issues too. Like, I don't think he maintains counter through. I think there is a twist at the lumbar and not in because the hips are going one way and his upper body's going another. His
I would
pelvis is
say,
going with his skis.
is it a fair general statement to say, I like his dirt. I like the duration. I like the intensity, the rate, the timing, etc. But the mechanics of it are a little off. To Dion's comment a minute ago with the right shoulder, the mechanics are wrong. That rotation is at that shoulder and it's not down in the femur.
Yeah, well, if you're extended, remember this. If you're extended, how else can you turn? How are you going to get the skis to go from that direction to that direction?
Right.
If you're extended, right? So we have to introduce something else. And that's
Well,
where all the other less efficient things happen. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But I think if you're really looking, this is my opinion. Now we're into the subjective portion. The subjective portion is that I firmly believe that because he allows his legs to extend early, it robs him of the ability to manage the pressure at the top of the turn, and it does not allow him to angulate and create the edging that he needs early. And what the result is that, as Scott indicated, as he extends the legs out, he ends up banking and he ends up on the inside ski ever so briefly. So we have and that's why you see the legs move apart a little bit at the end of the turn. This is the opinion purely by Chuck.
Chuck,
Now, where do you,
there might be
what's
somebody
the,
else.
I don't
Go
think
ahead.
your opinion's wrong because when he has that little bit of the twist in the upper body, it puts him over the inside of the new inside leg.
Yeah.
So it stacks his body so that the weight is more to the inside than aligning to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he ends up over inclinated in comparison to the amount of angulation he has and for the turn he's trying to make. And he ends up pushing into a pressure.
Yeah.
So that outside ski drifts away and he extends into it as it drifts away, trying to feel something push on that outside ski because we don't like our skis to drift when they're supposed to be turning.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
So, Gordon, now's your chance to kind of help us with your intent.
Yeah, so the intent, and those who have skied with me remember that I never used to extend. So getting the extension in the turn, I'm not quite getting the timing where it needs to be. Instead of being compact all the time, I'm trying to extend, trying to find that spot at the top of the turn. I think the comments were pretty much spot on. My notes for myself were kind of a lack of any angulation on left-footed turns, a little bit of hip angulation on right-footed turns, no knee angulation on either. You know, the shoulder rotation, kind of a legacy movement. You can see, especially on left-footed turns that, or right-footed turns, that left pole plant, the hand moves back, which Dion was noting. And I think that's exclusive to that left hand movement.
And can I help you kind of redirect your thought just a little bit?
Sure.
Because I know that we talked about that last year, that you don't really have a lot of up and down movement.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I'm seeing here is, I like what you're trying to do. I think the timing is off,
Yeah.
that you extend too early, which robs you of the ability to do what you need to do at the top of the turn.
Right.
And I don't mind you being more extended at the apex. You should be aiming for the apex. But I don't think we need to see all 6'4" of you. We need to see about 5'10". So your extension piece should be a max of like 5'10", 5'11", and the compact part should be around 5'6". So we're still getting this much range of motion, which probably feels like a lot when we're doing that. But it will allow you to still remain compact enough that you can get that action with the lower legs at the top. And then from there, you won't need the rotational piece if we can get those skis to be on edge. They won't spin out. You know what I mean? So I think it's a timing thing. I think we need to work on your timing.
You know, for what it's worth, I would I would suggest that, yeah, timing can be there, but it may also be an understanding component. And I say that because the first movement is actually the hip flexors opening. And right after that happens, the weight comes back and they come off the front of the boot. At that point, the knees open. By now, we're already slightly behind the ski, but both legs are extending at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But because they're slightly back and the legs are extending at the same time, the shoulders start that twist to get the turn started. As a result, they wind up on the inside ski. They're trying to flex both legs at the same time, but because all of the weight is on the inside ski, it's really hard to get that outside ski on the snow. And even though they're on edge, they can't develop enough edge because they're not balanced over that outside ski. So to help correct that flexion and extension, both legs need to do something at the same time, but at the initiation, the old outside leg needs to flex, and what will be the new inside leg needs to extend to cause the lower body, starting with the feet, to tip and start into the new turn versus extending both legs, rotating the shoulders, and falling into the new turn.
Cool.
Okay, and the ability to flex and extend the legs at the same time, but independent of each other, is a different mechanism to start that turn, but it will also allow the individual to start to develop ski to ski pressure, i.e., especially directing it to the outside ski.
Wait a minute. Flexing and extension movements independently, is that where did we hear that before?
Well, if you think
Common
about
thread.
the common threads, the legs flex and extend independent of each other. One
Yeah.
leg flexes, one leg extends to start the turn versus both legs extending to topple.
Yeah.
But that ability to make the legs work independent like that starts to open the doors, giving an individual the start they need to move or direct pressure to the outside ski. As long as both legs are working uniformly, they tend to incline.
And I think that's the big comment that we've had over the years for you, Gordon, is that there's really not ever been a whole lot of independent leg movement. They tend to flex and extend together.
Chuck,
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm all geeked up with the last minute of conversation. That just blew for me, that just blew my head up.
Oh God, I was wondering what all those smooches were over your picture.
And so for me, it's keep it simple, stupid, because I'm the stupid. And I just looking for what we've all talked about and been evidently accurate in all the different observations to some extent. Now, what's the prescription to the student?
Well, we just
Simply,
gave,
well, but if I'm a student,
okay,
I'm
so you want well, thank you. That's actually very fine. What would we say to this person if they didn't know all the stuff that we talk about, right? By the way, Mike, that was very clear and incredibly concise, and I loved it.
Well, that's because Dion has been beating on me really hard. Her and
As she
Donnie,
should.
they beat on me all the time.
As she should.
And I thank them both.
So we're talking about long leg, short leg versus edging and how that affects our edging ability. And one other thing I want to say too is, hey Gordon, this is really good skiing. It's just you're so close.
If we
You're
can
getting
take the rotational and lateral angulation we see in the neck and move it down to the hip flexors, you'd have it.
This is pretty good skiing. I mean, you're getting some ski performance. All things are happening there. You're on the verge of getting that independent leg motion, but it's not quite there yet.
Yep. It's coming real close to having an aha moment.
Yeah. So the prescription for change in layman's terms is how can we marry a long leg, short leg, and how that's going to affect the ability to tip early. Okay. But in order for us to do it, we can't do it this way. We have to do it this way.
Yes.
Okay. So we move from one turn to the other this way, and that helps us with that tipping piece. But we got to get this one out of the way so that we can tip this one.
So a thing to pull in that can help is outside ski turns.
Oh no.
Because with that outside ski, if you're balancing on it, you've got to have that inside ski off the snow, and voila, short leg and long leg.
Your favorite drill?
Well, for you, Chuck, I would actually have you start with a dead start turn and finish with a outside ski turn.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I avoided outside ski turns for years and years until I finally was like, I just going to have to do what I hate. And that's what I did. I get done with a lesson, I go back up on the hill, and for an hour I do nothing but outside ski turns.
Well,
Until
now
I
we're
was
working
like-
on space turns.
I'm working on. Don't even
We'll
talk
go up
about
to the
it.
top of the hill. We'll spend an hour doing space turns, and Dion is leading, and then Donnie's leading, and I'll lead, and
we're gonna do speeds together. But no, I mean, outside ski turns is the first thing I was thinking of too when I first saw this skiing. So it's got to get that pressure management piece from leg to leg working, and if you can do that early enough in the turn, it's going to help you a whole lot with that early edge set.
Yep.
It's going to allow you to roll right in instead of rotating to seek. All right. We spent too much time.
We spent enough time.
Well, yeah. So I need to create
So
some rooms.
does Gordon have questions over the discussion?
Just so you know, I only said I was doing 10 space turns a day, not an
10.
hour's worth, 10. 10 successful space turns every day for the whole season.
But you also inferred it may take 60 space turns to get those 10.
Maybe, but I hate them so much. I'm going to get good at them. So I only have to do 10.
I think it needs to be 11 because if you screw one up, it erases 10. So you got to get 11 of them. So there's always one that was correct and you didn't, and it's still in your data bank and you haven't deleted it.
All right, Mike, then you have to film yours and submit them daily.
I
So
can,
I
can
I
do
need a
space turns.
clarification. Is a space turn basically a hop turn?
It's a hop turn.
Yeah, okay.
Not a
Just want to make
leaper.
sure I had the right picture,
Yeah, not a leaper.
right?
A hop
And
turn. Hop,
no
spin,
forward
turn.
movement down the hill.
Yeah.
Well, minimal forward movement because you actually have to jump slightly down the hill or you wind up jumping vertical.
All
Or
right,
you could
Dion.
just
Can't do
learn to
that.
go back up the hill like certain examiners.
Well, yeah, you can, but that's mostly done with their poles.
Yeah. All right, Dion, I'm going to put you in with the L3s. Mike, you're going to be in with the room 3. All right. And I'll be with everybody here in a moment. Go to your rooms. All right. How's everybody doing? All right. You guys, I'm going to go ahead and share. I can
Oh.
remember which one I gave you. Was that Colorado Sports Academy?
I think it was a red jacket,
Red jacket. Okay, cool.
I thought.
Yeah. Yep. Here we go.
I lost it.
This one.
Think so. Yep. That's what I was looking at anyway.
Cool. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to watch her. I'll be right back.
Hmm.
I feel like this is exactly what we were just watching.
The other skier, you mean? The first skier?
Except with less flex and extension. She's just
Yeah. He was much, I thought he was.
but the movement patterns, like she's not
Oh,
moving.
yeah.
It's very still.
Very still.
Yeah. Whole body.
Actually, surprisingly enough, this is how Gordon used to ski. So what are the big picture items? What are the big tickets? It'd be awesome if you could use a common thread or two. Is there anything that you like?
I like that she's fluid. Everything's the same. She seems balanced and yeah, fluid.
Yeah, balanced for her, right?
Yeah, for her, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of activity. The body is all doing things together.
Cool. Yeah, I hit the loop.
There we go.
Good, thanks.
I love Tom Goulden's stuff because he always puts that brief pause in there.
And for her, so the skis are simultaneously guided to begin
Guided.
turns.
For the most
Both
part, yeah.
skis remain in contact with the snow.
Yep. 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 There's some pretty good upper body stability. It's not great. Probably not the rock solid ideal that we would like to see.
And then it doesn't support the next one,
No.
which is the countered relationship.
No, there's very little separation, isn't there?
Mm.
Like, that's another word that I need to find a new word for separation. There's not a lot of difference between the upper and lower body in terms of direction change.
No, she seems like she's turning with her upper body.
She is turning with her upper body, yeah. 100%.
The duration of everything is long.
Yeah.
Is long. There's it's even, but it's long. The intensity is not, there's not much enough intensity. I don't.
Well, it
feel
depends on
like.
what you're talking about, right? Because when she let's go back up here to the top. When she turns,
Mm-hmm.
she turns very quickly,
Yeah,
which
but
gives
it's
me an
light
idea that there's probably a lot of intensity in the turning effort too.
in
It
the
just happens
rotation.
very
Yes, but
briefly. It's very,
in the
very small space.
yeah, in the rotation, yes, in the body, but in
Yeah.
the skis, the intensity is at the bottom of the turn. The pressure.
Yeah, but there's really not a lot of that either, is there?
No.
Because she doesn't really create a lot of pressure. You know, I mean, we got to have several things going on, but primarily we have to have edging and we have to have rotation in order to create pressure or the sensation of pressure.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
But that's probably her intent. Anybody want to talk about a fundamental? Aaron, I like the direction you were going. I know you got one in your head.
Oh, like going back on the foot to foot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's the one again that gets us back kind of to where we were before in terms of getting, because that's the other common thread. So the counter relationship was one that we weren't seeing, and then legs flex and extend independent of each other to move the center of mass from turn to turn.
From turn to turn. So how is she moving the center of mass from turn to turn?
Inclining. But she's rotating her upper body and then inclining into the turn.
Yeah. So how is she creating how is she moving the center of mass from turn to turn? She's not moving the center of mass in, she's moving the legs out.
Out.
Okay.
That's
It's
the
more-
key ingredient to that piece. We either allow the skis to move us or we move the skis.
So she's moving the skis out.
She's moving the skis out.
To create this, to change the center of mass from turn to turn.
Yeah. And we commonly call that rotating to an edge. And Gordon was kind of doing that on the last turns, right? We saw that little twist at the top, the little spin before he caught an edge, and then he's much, much more disciplined than this person is, but it's, it remains with us.
Then does that imply the pivot?
It's a pivot. These are all pivot turns.
Yeah. We're not getting any flexion and extension. We're, down the hills there, and that's not allowing us to steer the skis as opposed to pivot them.
No. And she literally steps from one side to the other, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then even though she's looks like she's balanced and she's getting pressure to the outside ski, there's no indication that she is because she never has one leg that's visibly shorter than the other. We can't look at any of these skiing and say, hey, she's really physically shortening the inside ski.
Mm-mm.
So we keep coming back to the, long leg, short leg, if you will,
Yeah.
which obviously is the mechanic we're aiming for. But we haven't talked anything about the stance, and both skiers' stances have been aft to me.
They are
At
aft for
different points
different
in the
times
turn.
and different reasons, yes.
Right. At different
That's why I
times.
was like, when Scott said earlier that that Gordon was like seemed like he was fairly forward in it, I was like, when is he forward? Because that extension movement actually purposely moves us back, right? It's very difficult for us to stay forward unless we look like, you almost have to look like a ski jumper in order to stay forward in a stance when you're fully extended. It's
Right.
so difficult because that's not how the ski is designed. The ski is designed for us to have some flex. And when he's showing all 6'4" of him, it's very difficult for him to be and he's doing it at the beginning of the turn. It's very difficult for him to say, for us to say that he's forward. We end up going back. She's different, doing it for different reasons.
But she seems like she's back and through the initiation, shaping, and finish.
Yeah. That's why he stops it like right there.
Mm-hmm.
She's back almost the entire time. But I mean, and I know you guys are L2s, but are going for your L2s, but I'm looking at this in terms of intent. What is her intent?
Her intent is to move down the hill.
Well, sure she is, but how is she going to control her speed? Whenever it's intent, it's about controlling speed.
Controlling
How does she
speed
control her speed?
to skid her skis out like almost like swiveling them like a partial hockey stop.
Right. And what part of the ski is she using?
The tail.
The tail. Because the tips don't move that much, do they?
No, and you can see the spray coming up from the rear, from the
Yeah,
tail.
you see that too. I mean, sure, but I mean, obviously we're not going to take this girl and put her into powder skiing because that would be a disaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've lost all her mechanics on how to steer or turn.
Yeah, that would be a knee injury.
Well, it wouldn't be a knee injury. She would have to figure out how to steer her skis. She can't steer her skis because all she knows is to push the heels. You can't do that in a powder.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So we're going to be playing some good, better, best. Who wants to be first? Oh, I'm sorry. You can't see me. I'm staring at you, Marin.
I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean,
Good, better, best is good, better, and best is means if you're first, you get to make all kinds of mistakes. Because the next person's going to come in and say, yeah, that was pretty good, but I want to button that up a little bit and say it in fewer words and a little bit more concisely. And then the last person comes in and really makes a nice, tight package. How about that?
So
You want to be first.
I'm observing a skier on green to blue terrain. She's doing some medium radius parallel turns that are somewhat C-shaped.
Mhm.
Her initiation is quick at the top and then elongated or short, very brief in the shape and elongated in the finish. And she's uh, so her timing is quick at the top, and then longer at the finish, as I was just saying. But you want more than dirt. You want to
I really want to focus on dirt, yes, but you're doing good. You're doing good. All right. Save it. Save it. Because it's going to be in front of the whole group. All right.
We were having a meaty discussion, Chuck.
You were having a what?
A very meaty discussion.
Yeah,
Well,
you interrupted us.
at some point in time, you're going to have to.
I told them at some point in time they will have to be communicating to the whole group.
It'd be nice to have 40 minutes in front of an examiner to really hash out this stuff, but unfortunately, you have 3 to 4 minutes, and that is it. So I have to be reasonably. I'm giving you time because I really want you to discuss and really get a feeling for it, but at the same time, I also have to cut it loose sometime point in time.
So all I can say is with the group I had, remember the discussions and how we were working to link pieces together.
Yeah, cool. Good. And adding dirt and how the importance of dirt. Dirt. Lots of dirt.
And we had some dirt in there too.
Cool. Which group did you have? You had this skier?
You sent me back to 3. We had the skier that was in white coat and black pants and white coat and white pants.
White coat and white pants. Oh,
And
we had
white
2
coat
of them.
and black pants. There were 2 skiers.
There were 2 skiers. Just the first one. Sorry about that. I didn't realize.
Oh, we watched them both because they had similar movement patterns.
They do have similar movement patterns. This one right here. Oh, you can't tell.
I can't tell. I don't see anything, Chuck. Sorry.
Well, you just need to intuit it.
Okay, well, the group will intuit for you.
All right, cool. All right. Yeah, this is the good thing is I picked somebody. I picked a couple L2s that were very similar movement patterns. God, I hate the movement patterns. That's like another word I hate is counterproductive. That's like this is not useful is another way to say that.
Well, yeah, kind of like military intelligence and jumbo shrimp.
Free gift. All right, who wants to go first? Let's look at this skier. So this is going to be Mike's group. And who wants to speak? And today it's going to be good, better, best. Same thing. We're going to probably adopt this for the rest of the year. So sometime if you're really unsure of what you want to say, it's better to be first. It encourages you. And then if you feel more confident, you can kind of jump in and say, hey, that was really great what Rebecca said, but I really want to kind of condense it down to these few points. And then the person at the end is going to make it very concise.
So you put me first in line, so I'm going to go first. So
all right.
The sucky one.
And then everybody else will add frosting to your cake.
Let's focus on a fundamental. And if you want to add a second one in, that'd be great too.
We're going to focus on edging. This is in a person on intermediate terrain skiing what looks like medium radius turns. What we are noticing is that edging happens after the fall line and at initiation because she stands up tall, there is there is no edging and engaging of the skis, and therefore she rotates her shoulders, and that causes the outside ski to turn faster than the inside ski, leading to a convergence. which eventually resolves after the fall line.
Ooh.
I'm going to stop there and let somebody else talk.
No. Now I get to ask you questions.
Okay.
You picked two fundamentals. That's very brave of you. Can you tell me a relationship?
Um,
How does
yeah,
the edging that she does affect the rotation that she does?
well, because the edging happens late, she initiates the turn more with rotation rather than edging. And it's the reverse of what really would make for a smoother turn, where kind of the order of operations, as
That's
Jenny
too much
Markey would
information. Stop right there. You buttoned it up in the first sentence. Ideally, what would you like to see happen?
ideally, I would like to see
In
edging
terms of
first,
just edging.
edging at initiation,
Hmm.
and then rotation sort of in the latter half of the turn.
In terms of edging, when would you like her to edge? How would you like her to edge, and when would you like her to edge?
I would like her to have simultaneous edging at turn initiation,
Cool. And then when is it going to most edge?
at the apex of the turn.
And then what's going to happen from there?
Then it should be less edging and more rotation of the legs.
Okay. Well, I mean, let's not add in the rotation yet. Just you would go from high edge angles to low edge angles again, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Not all at once?
No, progressively.
Yeah. There you go, Dion. I know you love that word so much. So
I'm
that
passing the
was
baton.
yeah, that was pretty good. I loved it. I loved that you took a risk outside of and then combining the rotation with the edging. That's cool. Good. Anybody want to shorten that a little bit? And you get to pick one or the other? Or make it a little bit better? Anybody in her group? Anybody? Bueller? Nobody?
That means Mike has to do it.
Oh, no.
I was going to say it was so good that nobody can add to it.
It was pretty good. That was pretty good. How is she creating edges?
There's several other people in the group, and we
Come
went through a
on.
lot of little pieces here.
Somebody else, come on. Hey, don't worry, there's a best. So you still have an opportunity to really mess it up.
All right, we noticed at the beginning the with the length or standing more upright, the outside ski went faster and the inside ski was not able to edge as effectively until after the apex.
Okay.
So that would have been edging and rotation.
No, it's still edging. I would want to stick with just edging.
Okay.
Okay. So you would call that simultaneously they were tipping, or they were tipping
No,
sequentially?
Sequentially.
Okay, or
As
they
they
were tipping
extended,
together, or one was tipping more than the other?
as they began the turn,
Mhm.
the outside ski was rotating and edging sooner. And after the apex, the inside ski caught up and edged more, which created that spray after the apex.
And the spray is indicative of what?
Um, extra edging after the apex.
Okay, lots of edging after the apex. Okay, cool. All right.
But we're supposed to do one where we of pressure management moving to the outside ski.
Normally you would do some kind of pressure management, but she chose edging and rotation,
Right.
Okay.
which was cool because I think she nailed how edging affects rotation, that's a hard one to make a connection with. Cool. Anybody want to do a best? In as small, shortest words that we possibly can. Shortest sentences.
With
And
the
you can
same
just speak to one
fundamentals?
fundamental.
With the same fundamentals? You want them the same? Want to be
Same
consistent?
fundamentals, yeah. By the way, she looks like she's having a lot of fun. And I'm going to say, because we're in the middle of our children's thing, because she's waving at Jen as she's going by, she's completely in the autonomous phase. Would you agree or disagree?
I would say autonomous at that moment.
Well, yeah, sure.
She got herself ready. Okay, now I can shift my focus to the wave. Now I better get that hand down really, really quick or I'm going to die.
In her Maslow, she's definitely in the I'm feeling pretty dang good about myself.
Yep.
In
Go
the
ahead,
scarf
Jen.
model, she's not fearing any of her peers. All right, anybody want to do a best? I think that was pretty good. I mean, the thing I would say at the initiation is that she doesn't. How does she create edge at the initiation? Both skis, obviously. I think. I'm going to keep this pretty buttoned up. At the initiation, one ski begins to tip before the other,
Right.
and then at the shaping phase, both skis match in their tipping, and then at the finish, they're at the highest edge angles in the finish, and they're both tipping simultaneously. And then it's a very quick movement across, and then one ski tips before the other, and then the other one tips to match, and it both happens very, very quickly. This is because she inclines very quickly into each turn and has very, very little angulation. And she's using the rotational aspect of her turns to create the edge. She's spinning to an edge.
That's the good part.
Ideally, I would like to see both skis tipped simultaneously at the initiation. I'd like to see them fully tipped, maybe at the apex or slightly after the apex, highest tipping point. And then I'd like to see them slowly untip until she's in the middle of her transition to the next turn. And she's going to do that by using a combination of angulation and inclination that's going to allow her to access her lower legs, to allow her to tip simultaneously at the top of the turn, through the turn, and into the bottom of the turn, and control those edges instead of spinning to an edge, which happens very, very quickly. Yes?
Yes.
Yep. Or modulate the fore-aft pressure to allow her to control the rate of rotation.
Well,
of her
we would
ski.
love to talk to her about fore aft, but unfortunately, that wasn't
Well,
the
I bring that
fundamental
in
was
because
chosen.
Rebecca was the one that brought that up right away, and that they do go together.
Honestly, we brought this point up, and I wanted to reiterate this from last week. We brought this point up last week where we talked about we don't want to be, when we're in our teach, we want to be careful about bringing up fore aft or trying to teach to fore aft. But you're going to be talking about fore aft in your MAs every single time. But what we don't want to do is get stuck focusing on the fact that she's basically a dig me skier with her legs plastered together, and she likes to push her tails around. And that's how she skis, right? Which is probably why she's got a lot of confidence until Jen takes her to Prima and ruins all that confidence, right? And you know what? She looks good. She's got a great outfit. I love how the gray helmet matches her.
Everything matches.
Everything matches. Yeah, cool.
That was going to be my first comment.
You know, we made those comments, you know, the white and black and the white on white for the two
Yeah.
people.
I
And
mean,
that, you know,
hands are going
overall, they
behind.
both have pretty good control from top to bottom of the hill.
She's got the whole pull thing going on.
Yep. She's got a
right?
pose in each one of her turns for that photo op.
Exactly. You know, she identified, and this is a crazy thing is she identifies as a skier. She's Chaffee, you know, she's Kathy Chapstick or whatever her name was, right?
Susie.
Susie Chapstick, right. She's Susie Chapstick coming down the hill. She looks awesome.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, you know, that's going to make it a difficult change for her.
She looks awesome there. It's when she wants to follow the kid in the green jacket that she goes over and meets
Right.
down through the bumps or through the trees that we have a reason to change.
Yeah. We need to make sure that, yeah.
Otherwise, why change a thing? She's having a great time. She's in control. She's loving life. We don't need to change anything. As long as
on
she
a
never
bluish
wants
slope.
to ski anywhere but right there.
Yeah, here's your $1,100 back. You don't need to change anything. You look awesome.
You know,
Right?
in her mind, she's a solid intermediate skier.
She is
And-
a solid intermediate skier.
And honestly, I don't really have a problem with, I mean, you know, unless she becomes a ski instructor, I have a hard time thinking of why she needs to make a change unless she's desperate because her son is in bump camps every week
Or she's
and
trying
he's
to keep
dragging
up
her
with her
down
spousal
crazy
unit.
stuff. Right? And then it's like, ooh, well, now we got to make a change.
I don't know. I've skied Vail when the weather's been absolutely awful. So if you're just a Vail mountain skier, man, when that stuff is white on white and bulletproof, what she's doing doesn't work anymore.
Well, what we
So
want to
there's
do
going to be
is
there's going to be some days where if you're a loyal Vail skier, that's not going to work so well.
no.
Even if our outfit really blends in, that just means Jen has trouble finding her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All we
but
want to do is we want to take her and put her over here on Lookma.
Look,
even in
Ma
those
isn't going to
lower
do it
bumps.
for her. That
How
that
about we
look
go on the other side of the trees, Gumby?
You mean over here?
Yeah, there. Let's take
Yeah,
her
those
over
would be
there.
good spot. But why go there? I mean, the harder the better, right?
Well, the kid in the green will probably love that.
He will. He'll like going through the trees to get there.
No,
that bump run is Look Ma, isn't it?
No, this is Lookma here. Well, this is part of. This is a different.
it's
I
a
can't remember
different
the name
run.
of this one.
Yeah,
You know,
but see,
but-
I can drop in right above those trees and traverse this way and then traverse back and come through here and get right out of there.
These are classic Vail bumps. They're easy and fun and stuff. This is like this is some tough bumps over here.
Mhm.
They're
That's where they
big and
take
they're-
you to video you so they can put it on the internet and have people pick at you.
Exactly. All right, we got to move on. So it's already 8:30.
You know, Dion, she is dressed appropriately for après ski at the bottom of the mountain when it gets to be white on ice.
Well, she's single. That's her
No,
son that
she's
told
not.
her, but
She skied up to a guy and a kid.
Well, I think they were in her class with the lady in the white with the lady in the white coat and black pants.
All right, I got a very interesting skier for the L3s. Somebody
Oh, you
talk me
think you
through this
did,
guy.
huh?
Huh?
You think you got an interesting skier, huh?
Well, let's call him classically interesting. Because this is what your L3s are going to look like. And I really, really feel strongly that we need to recognize this movement pattern because it's going to be so common, it's almost going to be embarrassing.
That's what they're going to look like before they pass.
That's what they're going to look like before they pass, yeah.
Because if they ski like that after they pass the new microchips in the L3 pin, it will just fall off on the mountain somewhere.
Well, it's like Jim says, I got you that pin, which means I can take it away at any time. So somebody good, better, best this one.
I'll start.
All right,
That
cool.
way I don't have to do the best.
Oh, Scott, go. You got this.
Two fundamentals. Give me two fundamentals first.
I'm going to pick fore aft and rotary.
Cool, good, go.
So I'm going to start with fore aft.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to talk through the transition first, because at the transition, he's in kind of an interesting position where his old outside ski or his old outside leg is bent more than his old inside leg. So he's got a lot of lead change in his skis. And he has a long transition because he needs time to have basically move his old outside ski forward to catch up, and he uses an up motion to do that. And then into shaping, he starts to have more even weight on the two skis, but through shaping, his new outside ski or his new outside leg bends more at the knee and ankle, so that it trails the the new inside ski at the end of the turn.
Trails a new outside ski?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically he's got his balance, forehand balance is interesting because at the end of the turn, at the end of shaping and into the beginning of finish, he's on the front of his outside ski and the tail of his inside ski.
Cool. Why do you
All
think
right.
he's doing that?
Well, because he has a quick initiation
Mm-hmm.
with his up motion, and then he gets himself in this park and ride position.
Cool.
So he just kind of, flexes a bit through the turn, and he's letting that, he's getting his weight on his inside ski basically at that point. I know I'm shifting gears here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't dug deeper. I'm going to dig a lot deeper.
Right.
Okay. I get to abuse you a little bit.
That's okay.
Okay.
And then on rotary, because he's in this park and ride position, and he's got that balance issue, but with the outside ski back, his weight on the tail of that at the end, and on the more centered on the inside ski at the end, it puts him in a very squared up position at the end of the turn. So it requires him to use an upper body rotation with that quick up motion to help him initiate the next turn.
Okay.
Now you can ask me questions.
Well, ideally, you'd like to.
Ideally, we'd like to have the ankle flex equivalent in both skis, just like the common thread says. And we'd like to have both ankles flex the same at the start of the turn, through transition or through the shaping into the finish.
So how are we going to do that?
We're going to have less in transition. We're going to have less flex in our old outside ski so that our ankles match. We want our ankle flex to match through transition.
How's that going to make the ankles the same?
How's that going to make what?
How are we going to make the ankles the same? By making the ankles the same?
Oh, how are we going to do it?
Yeah.
Hold the new inside ski back.
Shut up, Dion. Make him think about it.
Yeah. Well, I go to, when you say how, I'm thinking about mechanically what our muscles are doing. And I don't think that's what you're asking me, because that's what
No,
we talked
actually,
about
I'm
that before.
asking you because your description says at the initiation he has a tip switch where one
Right,
ski tip leads the other at in an
right.
appropriate time. So how do we keep both ankles to be about the same?
So, right. So his old inside ski, he needs to pull that back through the turn.
He
Yep.
needs to keep it from moving forward because that creates that twist. And he's not as bad, right? He's still the park and ride.
Right.
But normally we see the hip dump because as soon as you push that leg forward, creates a twist. And the first thing that happens is your butt goes down.
Mm.
He's more disciplined about it. Still movement, same movement pattern. But we got to hold that. We got to pull that. We got to keep that ski at the initiation from moving forward because it happens right there, right? Well, a couple back, right? Why is he moving it? Why is he moving? He's got it way far back here, and in like a ski length, they're almost even. And
Right.
then here, he's already got to shove forward. In two
So,
ski lengths, he's gone from one ski far back to way far forward.
And as soon as he does that, he loses his counter.
Yeah, by definition, you have to. There's no way because now
He
his
didn't have any
pelvis is
counter.
moving it. Well,
Well,
yeah. Thank you. He switched the counter from one side to the other. How about that? So it's both pointing to the outside and then it points to the outside again. So ideally, the counter should be pointing more down the hill or at the apex of the new turn.
so
Or
because he's
somewhere in
pulling
the
that
middle.
ski forward, it squares him up and he gets his counter to the outside.
And it affects his ability to pressure manage. It affects his ability to control his fore aft. It affects his ability. Now he's in a position where he almost has to introduce some kind of rotational aspect to it because now he's in that park and ride situation because he has no choice. Because as soon as he gets to here, he's stuck.
yep.
Yeah.
And when he pushes that leg forward and that old outside leg is tracking forward and his body is trying to track down the hill and he's fighting himself at that point.
This is kind of great. It's hard for me to tell, but is he sticking his butt out? Does he have interior pelvic tilt that's preventing him from rotating his legs? Is that part of what gets him in the excessive tip lead?
As soon as you push him into, now I think it's a before or after effect. I think as soon as he pushes his inside leg forward into the new turn, his old outside leg forward, it puts him automatically into that hip tilt.
Okay.
I don't know necessarily that he ends up with an anterior pelvic tilt, but he does end up with his pelvis rotated towards the outside in relation to his legs.
Sorry, I misunderstood. Dion's correct. I was thinking already about rotational pieces.
So it's more that his legs are here and he twists his pelvis this way. He could have turned his legs and ended up in that same position, But as soon as I twist my pelvis and my legs are still trying to go this way, it's as if I've used up a whole lot of femoral rotation. Because if you actually stand up and twist your pelvis over the tops of your legs to the outside, regardless of which way, and then try and turn your femurs more, you'll realize you have actually a pretty limited range of motion. Different people have different amounts left based on the amount of flexibility and internal and external rotation you have available. But it's not so much an anterior tilt as it is a rotation of the pelvis.
So yeah, what she's saying is as soon as you rotate the pelvis this way, you limit your ability to do this. And you can look at it there because his pelvis is pointing to the outside, or it's relative to the outside of the turn. And he's already trying to rotate his femur to the inside. And you only have about 30 degrees to the inside. You have a lot more moving to the out, but you only have about 30 degrees moving inside. And as soon as he uses it up, and she says, you probably are, as she indicated, he's probably almost used it all. I think he has used it up. Because he parks and rides.
Oh, that's the cause of the parking.
It is a really powerful feeling position because you have that long leg into the turn where you
Yeah.
get all the forces. So it feels very powerful because you feel like you have pretty solid edge grip. That's not what's wrong with it. You do create edge group. You do create edge angle. But if you stop him at apex, his hip hasn't really gone as far towards the snow as he probably thinks it has. So the amount of performance he's creating is limited. And part of that is limited by when he could get the skis on edge. And then he immediately has to start thinking about undoing it because it takes so long to move your hips from one side to the other.
He's used up all his rotation, so he can't create higher edge angles mid-turn.
So
Correct.
this is that versatility and adaptability piece that they keep charming us about. He has no versatility and adaptability because he's put himself in a compromised position, which limits his ability to be adaptable. So if he needed to angulate more, he can't. He has to dump in.
He would have to go twice as fast in order to lean over twice as far
Right.
Right.
and not hip check out.
Yeah. And he's pretty good. I mean, this is not normally what we see. Normally what we see is a whole lot of rotating to the out and then dumping this way. He's trying to keep that from happening. But tell me at one point in time, when is he ever rotating his legs underneath a stable upper body?
Never.
Yeah. This is all ski performance.
Chuck, did I send you that video of the one guy who's really, really proficient at this? I mean, he was hip dumping, but he was dragging his hip on the snow. We'll see if I can find.
You could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen all kinds of racers that do it, right? It can be when you have all those forces and sometimes you need to get around the gate. You see this all the time. So it's almost like a license to go ahead and do it. But you got to understand when you're racing GS, you're already limited to the kind of turn that you're making. And so if you want to go ahead and hip dump in a little bit in order to get around the gate and hammer it a little bit, I love hip dumping. Trust me, I am a king of hip dumping because it feels awesome. And I feel like I'm standing on that ski and I'm just letting that ski do its thing. But unfortunately, that charming of the versatility and adaptability from PSI the last couple of years, yeah, try hip dumping in the bumps.
That's what I was going to suggest. Take them on a bump run. to see how he goes.
No, I fail. Fail. Huge fail, right? It's really, really hard to do. You can't hip dump. It takes too long.
Yeah.
You only got so much time, and you have to be able to be square and ready and do the things that you need to do and rotate those legs. And I am a big rotational guy, and I feel like I've got good rotation with my legs, but it does feel awesome when I do this.
So
It does. It's great.
the other way to look at this skier to make his movements, I don't know, make
We got
more
one more,
sense,
by the way.
yep, is to think about the IDP. In the IDP, where is highest edge angle supposed to happen?
Apex.
Just past the apex.
Apex, just past, right around apex. Where do his edge angles, where are they the highest?
Way past the.
Finish.
Right at the
Finish.
end.
Yeah. So, okay, so he's not doing the task by description. So then you'd have to back it up a stage. If he's highest at finish, what's happening at shaping? And if it's still not as high as it should be, oh, that's because it didn't get on edge in initiation.
Hmm.
Why didn't it get on edge at initiation? Because it didn't start from the bottom. Because he had to stand up and push a leg forward.
Hmm.
Oh, by the way, one more little thing. When I noticed a skier too, because it's really, really subtle. This is for you, Scott. There is a rotary push off. Right there. It's really subtle, but there is a
Well, and
rotary
that's when he
push-off.
starts pushing his foot forward.
Well, how the hell do you think he got that foot to start going forward?
He
Stood
pushed
on
off.
the other
He
leg.
pushed off. Exactly. It's very, very subtle. Like I said, he's very practiced at it, but there is a rotary push off.
And I bet he has a rotary push off in the bumps.
Oops. Sorry about that. When you get to the first few ones are really a sub because there's actually a that happens, that happens. It's really, really subtle, but because I'm the king of, you know, of this tip dump thing, I know how to get in and out of it really easily. And rotary push off is like the most awesome way to do that. All right, we got one more. And this is my group. Are any of my group left? Are they all gone? Rob is
No,
here.
I'm here.
Dave's here.
Yeah, I'm
Go,
here.
Dave.
Yeah. So we've got a skier and a green blue run doing mostly parallel turns that are sort of uh, medium shape, but Z-shaped more so. She's has quick and initiation and shaping and longer in the finish phase. Her the fundamentals there. I'm looking at fore aft and rotary. She's pretty much in the aft, which is limiting her capacity to rotate her skis. And as a result, she's in the finish phase there. In the initiation shaping, it's quick. In the finish phase, it's long. And she's in the back of her skis, so the spray's coming out from the tail. Because she's sitting back, she's aft. I'd like to see more rounded turns and see her more C-shaped. She'd have to bring her feet underneath her to be able to do that and be more evenly flexed at the uh, in her hips, knees, and ankles because she is turning with her upper body. She has upper body rotation, which is what is limiting her rotary capacity and causing uh, that part of that spray in the tail because of her aft position.
let's go back a little bit. So the ski, what are the skis doing in the initiation?
Her skis in the initiation are just pivoting around.
Okay, what happens at the initiation? Is one ski moving before the other? Are they moving
Yes, I
simultaneously?
could see there one of the turns. One ski, yep, there it is. One ski is turning, the outside ski is turning faster. The inside ski has to catch up with that.
Okay,
And that's happening because she's turning with her upper body. She's
cool. So
not
go, hold on,
independent.
hold on, hold on. Is it happening slowly, quickly, all at
It happens
once?
in quickly at the initiation shaping phase right there.
All right. It's over pretty much as soon as it starts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So now you can talk about the body. Why is she aft at the initiation, shaping, and finish?
Why is she aft? Well, she's
Yeah,
turning with her upper body. She does
sure, but
not have
that's not the
independent.
cause.
What's that?
That's not the cause. Why is she initiate?
Why
why
is
is she
she
aft
aft? Well,
at the
she's not
initiation?
flexed at the hip enough with her legs underneath her.
Okay.
That's good.
So that's a good position right there, right?
She needs to bring her legs underneath her and flex more at the hip. She has her ankle.
How is she going to do that?
Well, her center of mass has to be more forward so that she's able to initiate some tip pressure at the beginning of the turn.
How is she going to get more tip pressure at the initiation of the turn?
She's going to bring her skis underneath her and be more flexed at the hip and her ankles closed
There
more.
we go. And what else? Because she's
And
flexed at her hips and she
yeah,
looks like she
and
has
she
some
well,
ankle flex.
some ankle flex, but she'll be if she can close her ankles, be more flexed at the hips, bring her legs underneath her and create more tip pressure, then initially and her knees, she's looking at her, but she's sitting back. I mean, there is some
Well,
flexion,
why is she sitting
but
back?
she's sitting back because her body's upright because she's not flexed at the hips. Her legs are not underneath her, they're out in front of her.
They are out in front of her.
You're shooting.
What would be the one joint, if we had to look at one joint, what would be the one joint that would really make a difference?
Her
Here's-
ankle joint. I pull
No,
her, I
here's
close
a
her.
hint. The hips,
Her
the
hips
knees,
are
and the
pretty,
ankle should be the same.
Yeah, so hips,
This
knees, and
view,
ankles
two
should be
angles are the
flexed
same and one
evenly.
angle is not.
Yeah, so hips, knees, and ankles should be flexed evenly. So there's a parallel proportion between her torso and her tibia, her lower legs.
So
Correct.
bring it back to Chuck's question. Which joint is not flexed equal to the others? There's only one joint that's overflexed.
Her overflexed joint is her knees there.
There you go.
knees. There
Now
you go.
you answered his question.
There you go. So the one joint that we really need to focus on are the knees.
So
So
she
she
needs
needs
to
to
be
stand
standing
up.
more upright,
Mhm.
so less knee flexion, so that she's able to bring her feet underneath her, close her ankle joints more, and create a little bit more hip flexion. And then she'll be in a proper fore-aft position so that she can generate pressure on the tips of her skis and then
Then
begin
she
to
could
tip
create
them.
pressure on her tips, right?
Yeah, on
She
her
needs to be
tips and
more like this and less like this.
like she's sitting in a chair.
She's pooping. That's what we say to the kids. Don't be a pooper. Right? I mean,
Way
she
to
needs to be
push
more
her
forward.
off the Maslow's pyramid. Call her a pooper.
You know what? Negative reinforcement sometimes works.
You know, it's okay to consider competitive scrapbooking.
Exactly. So that's going to be I'm going to say to you, Dave, it's a cause and effect relationship. because she does not, she has pretty good ankles and she has pretty good hip, but because she has her knees bent so much, it really limits her ability to turn the skis, so she has to do something else,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Dave,
Because
why
it's
she
like she's
uses
sitting in a
UBR.
chair, she can't. Well, it's going to limit her ability for her rotary,
Yeah.
her rotational capacity.
Yeah, because now she's got flexed thighs, so she has to use something else. What's the next thing we always do? What's the natural thing?
Upper body
Upper body
rotation.
rotation. Every time. Every time. It works. It's effective. It's
so
quick. It's powerful. It's like it's like hip dumping. It feels natural. Feels like we should be doing it. However, versatility and adaptability are out the window. And try that in bumps. I think that's going
so
to be my new mantra from now on. Yeah, that looks great. Try that in bumps.
so Dave, would you like a observation?
Well, sure, because I might as well start now. I'm going to get 1,000 of them from you this winter, which I'll appreciate.
Mike, this is your opportunity to be really nice to your coworker.
Well, I mean, Mike's been helping me all last winter, so
Beating you with a stick, but at some point in time, the welts you don't feel them anymore.
I was using a very supple willow
Add salt. Add
with
salt.
lots and lots of branches on it.
go ahead, Mike.
So you're putting forward a lot of data. Unfortunately, the data is not interconnected. And so Chuck was asking you a very specific question, and we heard a lot of data. None of it was really wrong, but it didn't really answer Chuck's question.
Mm-hmm.
And the data was not interconnected. I mean, if you were in a paint by numbers book, it was kind of one went to 100 instead of one connected to two, connected to three, connected to four. So we never had that image. So slow the gray matter down. And if you put a point out there, which is fine, how does that point relate to another point? Or the way your brain is working, you've got another point already up in the gray matter. How do those two work together? And if you can't apply some kind of a bridge, maybe there's another point, or tie it back to Chuck's question. What
Mm-hmm.
angle? He was circling it with an arrow and you kept
Yeah.
throwing out the data points.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I we have the indicators. We always talk about what the relative pieces are and the joints, and we're always talking about joints when we're talking about pressure control. So the first thing you need to do is start focusing on the joints. Yeah, he's skiing. This person is skiing from the back, and they're relatively skiing from the back of the skis almost entirely through the turn. And the reason why is even though they look like they have a little bit of ankle flex in there, they're so overflexed in the knees, they end up being in the chair the whole time, which really puts them in the back of the turn. Ideally, I'd like to see in the combination with that ankle flex, a little less knee flex, which would keep them a little bit more forward so that the initiation, they can get the grip at the top of the turn that they really want, and it will continue through the last part of the turn.
I get it.
And the rotational aspect is, well, because they're back, they have to do something. And this is a reason why they're using a lot of UBR through the turn.
I would throw this out as a suggestion for the whole group, for what it's worth. Most people, when they flex a joint, they intuitively flex another joint. They never isolate them. I would encourage everyone in the group to find themselves a nice, comfortable wall, throw some pillows on the ground just in case, and try to just only flex the ankle, open and close it. And what does it do to your body? And then lock that ankle off and only flex the knee. Don't add the pelvis to it. Don't add the ankle to it, but only flex the knee. What does it do to your body?
That makes
Then
sense.
try it
Rob?
at the pelvis. Then try it at the spine. Try it right and left as well as fore and aft.
Rob, you got anything you want to add to this one?
I was just going to say, I'm going to try and be succinct because it's something I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
Two things that to start with, the fundamentals I wanted to identify were the center of mass over base of support, direct pressure along the length of the ski.
Sure.
And the second was the getting outside to outside ski
Okay.
pressure. The skills I wanted to identify were both edging and pressure.
Okay.
And with this skier, the first thing I noticed was she had a beautiful red jacket and black pants, so it made it easy to look at the legs as opposed to the upper body.
Always start with the sugar, baby. Always start with the
Absolutely.
sugar.
The second thing I liked about this skier is I felt she was skiing within herself and almost tentatively. That was her comfort zone. And I feel like a lot of people, to the joint issue that people were saying, especially the last comment, even though we feel the front of our boot with those ankles and we flex those ankles, if we're in a defensive posture, which I felt she was the whole time, we bend our knees and it puts us aft. And so to his last comment, if we're standing statically, that would be something that I would first work on with her, which is her stance, so that we can get a little bit better fore and aft movement, which I think will help with that getting to the outside ski pressure, which will then get us some more edge pressure, edging, get us on that edge as opposed to two ski movement. Backing up a little bit without getting wordy, at initiation, as you can see, she's after, she's pushing those tails out as we all observed earlier. But if we can move her along the length of the ski as the first fundamental, says, that might put us, use our tool better to get us on that edge, which will then promote that ski to ski, outside ski to outside ski movement, as opposed to having to push that ski at the initiation of the turn.
Okay,
That
let
would
me
be-
ask you a couple of questions.
Yep.
How is she creating edge now? In just a couple of succinct words.
The only edge she's creating is at the initiation of the turn, to put her to at the initiation of the turn by that pivot of the tails of the skis.
And how is that creating edge?
Well, it puts her in position to do that push off that we were talking about.
So how does it create an edge? If she's pivoting the skis, and then what happens from there?
Yeah, I don't think she's creating. I think that's one of her problems, is I don't think she's creating an edge.
Well, I think she's creating an edge.
Only
how
on
is
the
she creating the edge?
With her hips, with her inclination.
Well, she's inclining too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you started out with fore aft, and then you added in the edging part. So I'm looking for a connection between the fore aft and the edging.
So by putting her more fore, by getting those knees flexed equally with the ankles and the hips,
right.
That's going to put her along her center of mass along the length of the ski as opposed to the tail of the ski at initiation.
Sure.
Which is not going to allow that pivot to be a pivot as easily.
Okay, so pivoting is a rotational.
Right.
And so we got to be careful about talking about that.
Right. What I was saying is she's not going to be able to do that as easily. It's going to slow her movement down into a more get her on edge. She's going to have to get on that edge.
Can I help you?
Yes, please.
All right, cool. Because she's aft, her ability to create edge is kind of limited, right?
Yeah.
Because she's aft, she's engaged her thighs and whatever else, and that's limits her ability to tip the legs.
Right.
So the only way that she can tip is to incline,
Right.
and which is what she does because there's right there. She inclines. So that's how she's creating edge is by inclining to the inside. Actually, she's spinning out to create edge, but that creates an inclination position. So
Right.
that's how she's actually doing it in relationship to the fore aft. Because she's back, the only way that she can do it is by inclining to the inside.
Right.
Okay? So she actually moves her body inside and not her legs out. Well, she's moving her legs out too, but she
Right.
has to move her body to the inside.
Yeah. And that to the second fundamental outside outside ski by
Yeah,
getting
I mean,
along.
you could add another one in there if you want, but
Well, that was the second one I was getting to, is that by using the first fundamental of getting her, let's just say, more upright or more off
more
her
forward.
rear, yeah,
Yeah.
more forward, that is going to put her more along the length of the ski, which then I would go to the second fundamental, which would be the outside to outside ski, as opposed to a two ski movement, two ski pivot,
I
with their
would
tails.
I would honestly, Rob, I would stick to the same fundamental and say because she's forward, she's not engaged in trying to support herself. She now has access to the tipping pieces that she needs, the
Okay.
angulation piece.
Right.
That gives her that versatility and adaptability piece to allow her to move her lower legs in because they're no longer occupied by keeping her upright.
Okay. But isn't
I-
that angulation going to get her access to that outside
It's going
ski
to
edge?
change the way she skis. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to change the way she skis without introducing a third fundamental. You know what I mean?
Got it.
Because if you're suddenly relying on another fundamental to help you with the first two, they're going to kind of look at you like,
So what were so the two I was identifying were
fore aft and row and edging.
in edging.
Yeah.
No, well, I was using the fundamental of outside to outside ski and the skill
You
of
were
edging.
doing that, but you didn't really put that in your description too much. So I
Gotcha.
took that and went, gone. Right?
Okay.
Let's just focus on those two. And then
Okay.
really what you want to do is, well, you did a good, accurate description of the fore aft piece.
Mhm.
And it was a pretty good description of how that she was relating that to edging.
Mhm.
But I really want to pound the home that if I want to change the edging, I really got to get the fore aft working.
Got it.
Because she doesn't have the ability to, because she's spending all of her energy supporting herself because she's back, she doesn't
Right.
have the ability to angulate with her lower body. Ideally,
Got
I
it.
got to get her forward, and that's going to allow her to angulate with her lower body, and that's going to allow her to tip the skis early in a turn, and she won't have to do all of that at the end of the turn.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
Chuck, I might phrase it a little different.
Cool. Go.
I agree with what you're saying because she is predominantly aft. The only way to get edge angle is to incline. She cannot incline enough at the beginning of the turn to generate grip. So
Sure.
she's out of balance because of the speed. She can't generate grip till the end of the turn, where she has a little more speed and the slope angle gives her more edge angle, giving her more grip to take her across the hill.
Yes. I would agree with that.
That's the observation, right?
That's the observational piece. Yeah.
So, but the prescription piece would be to
Yeah,
address.
when we start talking about the prescription, we really kind of got to hone in on the biomechanical piece.
Right now we start getting the creative piece.
Yeah.
I just did a data
Got it.
Yeah.
dump.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, then we really need to hone in on the biomechanical piece. That because her legs are occupied trying to support her, it makes it really, really, really impossible for her to do anything else, including tipping her lower legs. If she can get her over her skis and her legs underneath her, as Dave says, get her, feet underneath her seat, that's going to give her the access to ability to angulate with her lower
Angulate.
body early in the turn, which is going to change how she skis.
Got it. Awesome.
All right. That's enough.
Yeah.
Man, that was a lot. That was 2 hours.
That was a lot. So next week it's only 1 hour because we overdid it the past 2 weeks.
Exactly. Thank you very much, guys. And we'll
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah. No, I think this was a good session. Well, I need to kind of shorten this a little bit, but as we get better, I think it'll shorten itself. But I could talk about skiing all day. So
Okay.
Yeah, well, when
Okay.
your ski